Okay, welcome everybody to today's class. We're going to be looking at phrasal verb clusters today. And what I mean by phrasal verb clusters, I mean groups of phrasal verbs which I've grouped into different categories. I think it's easier to remember vocabulary if you group them into different categories. Yeah, if you have one category and you try and remember as many phrasal verbs there. In fact, I think this is good for learning any vocabulary. Language is like a web, and it's really quite handy to make links between different words and put them together into different groups. It really helps to remember them. Well, it certainly helps me to remember these phrasal verbs, but it helps me with foreign languages as well. Now, with the first cluster we're going to look at is going to be decorate, but I want to explain that there are many of these clusters. I actually put this as a section at the back of the book, which is going to be coming out soon, and it's at the back of the book, this section. And it's in order to revise, to repeat a lot of the phrasal verbs that you've already seen in some of the earlier chapters. So if you're waiting for that book, and sorry, I can see there's a light on the screen, so I'm going to turn off my monitor. That should get rid of it. That book should be coming out in a week or in 2 weeks, and I'll let you all know, of course, straight away, naturally. So this is really a revision class. It's to revise all of those phrasal verbs that we've already done in the book. So I'm going to give you some examples here, and I hope that it will help keep this vocabulary fresh in your mind. So if a girl dolls herself up, or a guy spruces himself up, and that's something that's quite important, you need the someone in here, doll someone up. She dolled herself up. He dolled himself up. This one's normally female, this one's normally male, and it means to prepare yourself for a night out. You dress up and you make yourself look as attractive as possible. So yeah, doll yourself up or spruce yourself up, very similar to dress up, but it also involves, I mean, for a woman it will very often involve putting on makeup, for example. That would be included in when she dolls herself up. A guy might put on some aftershave or something like that. He's sprucing himself up. Okay, if you jazz something up, you make it more exciting than it actually is. And the same goes for sex something up. Okay, so the same goes for sex something up. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take questions at the end, guys. I will take questions, even if they're not about phrasal verbs. I'll take questions today, but I'll take them at the end of the class. Otherwise, I get distracted. The comments put me off the board. So if you jazz something up or sex something up, you make it more exciting in some kind of way. So there's all sorts of things that you can do this to. They collocate with a lot of different nouns, and it just means to make something more exciting. So if you're writing a book and you decide to jazz it up, you make it more exciting in some kind of way. Maybe you add a few interesting elements into the plot. Okay, now if you do something up, and yet the something is in here, I should have put it in there when I wrote them out, being honest, but if you do something up, then you're decorating. Very often we use this for houses. We need to do up our kitchen, we need to do up the bathroom upstairs, and that would mean maybe put up some new wallpaper, or if you don't like wallpaper, I must admit I don't like wallpaper, it might mean taking down the old wallpaper and painting the walls, or putting up some tiles, something like that. So there are a lot of different things you can do to do up your house. You might also change the floor. So you might put down a new floor and rip out the old floor. Notice how many times I can use these phrasal verbs in simple sentences. And it is because we learn these phrasal verbs before we learn the more complicated Latin forms or something like that. We learn these phrasal verbs as kids. And if you listen to any kids' songs, you'll see that. Okay, and if you dress up, you put on your best clothes for a night out, something like that. So if you're dolling yourself up or sprucing yourself up, you're also dressing up for sure. Okay, so that's my persuade. Oh, and I forgot one of them actually. Do something out in. If you do your house out in a Victorian style, that means you decorate it in a Victorian style. But you can also do the room out in blue, and that means that you use the colour blue as the main colour in that room when you decorate it. So you could do this with a style or a colour, but it's also a useful one for decorate. Okay, if we come on to persuade now, if you win someone over, you manage to persuade them. Okay, they are completely persuaded. So they're not persuaded first of all, but you tell them some things which persuade them to see things from your perspective. Okay, so you win that person over. But that is an exact synonym of the next one. You bring that person round. Okay, you bring someone round when you persuade them. So these mean persuade. I won him over, I persuaded him. I brought him round, I talked him round. They all mean persuade. And remember that come phrasal verbs very often are the same as bring phrasal verbs, but they're intransitive. So you can bring someone round or he comes round. Yeah, you can win someone over or he comes round. He starts to see things from your perspective. So come round is the same as bring someone round, but it's intransitive. There's no someone in the middle, but bring someone round, there certainly is an object there. Same with talk someone round. Okay, you can talk someone into doing something, and you can talk someone out of doing something. And of course, that means persuade, but this one means dissuade. Yeah, dissuade. So you could say persuade or dissuade. I'm not sure I've spelt that right now. Is it two S's or one S? I think it's one S, but I'm not 100%. So if somebody could quickly look that up for me in a dictionary, yeah, look it up. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay, if you suck up to someone or crawl up to someone or play up to someone, you are trying to be nice to that person to get them on your side, to perhaps because you want something from them. So this is why I've included it in persuasion. I think it's connected to persuasion. When you suck up to someone or crawl up to someone or play up to someone, you're being really nice to try to persuade them to do something. Okay, it is two S's. Okay, I was right the first time. Thank you. Okay, so get round someone. If you try and get round someone, you're trying to persuade them in some kind of way. Very often you might try to get round your boss. Maybe you want a day off, so you need to win him over, right? You need to make sure that he will give you that day off. So to try to get round him, maybe you're really nice to him, maybe you're really polite to him, maybe you suck up to him. So this one's very similar to the previous three, get round someone. And we even have an idiom here, which is with a phrasal verb, and it's to wrap someone round your little finger. If you can wrap someone round your little finger, you can manipulate them by being nice to them and getting them on your side. So I hope that you all have really nice bosses out there and they're easy for you to wrap them round your little finger, because that means they're easily manipulated. That's really what it means. Okay, there's also a section down here right at the bottom called Find Something or Someone by Chance, and there are a lot here. If you find an object by chance, yeah, there's object here, you happen on something, you stumble on something, you chance on something, or you can chance